One day, video of a man hunting went popular on the internet. The man noticed a slight movement out of the corner of his eye as he was looking about to find a spot to post. He followed the creature's gaze as it ducked down and finally snatched it up. His mind informed him he was staring at a primate, a big monkey. However, as he observed it more closely, he saw several strange behaviors. The man who videotaped this now reveals that he has spent his whole life in the woods, hunting, trapping, and following animals. He knows a great deal about the current state of the area animals. However, this thing, he's a bit confused. After he uploaded this video, it ultimately reached some specialists further up the food chain. Professionals in video editing. They also attested to the authenticity of the video. It's real. No indications of tampering are apparent. It attracted more attention than just that. Researchers, nature adventurers, and cryptozoologists were all keen to visit the region in the hopes of discovering additional proof. Everyone in town was talking about it and speculating on what kind of creature it might be. Many believed it might simply be an undiscovered species, but the majority chose Bigfoot. According to another notion, this creature could be an evolutionary offspring, a population of a species that was long believed to be extinct. Such creatures might have lived in solitude, undetected by any of us, given the isolated dark forest's provision of this ideal home. Perhaps this animal is a representative of an extinct species, a near relative of early primates that managed to live by adapting to its surroundings. There have been previous finds of this kind. What is this thing, even though we've only explored about 5% of our oceans? Await the sight of its mouth. I simply had no idea that such things existed. A YouTuber recently spent some time in the woods, merely to camp and observe some wildlife. When he got back to his campground after a storm, he saw big boot prints in the mud, prints that were unquestionably not his. He felt cold, and a feeling of uneasiness came over him instantly. It was a different place. He installed a live camera to keep an eye on his surroundings as he went exploring to calm his fears. He was, after all, very perplexed. No one was visible in the area, but this feeling of anxiety persisted, and it grew as he started to hear sounds he had never heard before. It seemed almost like a gigantic bird swooping through the trees, but he was unable to see anything. At first, he simply saw the typical nocturnal creatures prowling around, but as he continued on, he noticed an odd object. In the distance, a weird light flickered, but that was all. Things slightly improved as he carried on with his camping trip, but a few days later, when he was watching his video again, a strange object showed up on the camera. We're on and cracking now. What's that? A large, hairy body is visible. It resembles a skunk ape or Bigfoot, really. There is no denying that the monster is moving in an odd manner. He's reaching up in the air. He seems to be hitting his head with a fly or something. I'm not sure about the claims made by some commenters that it's just a man walking through the woods. It was strange. In fact, this appears to be Bigfoot. Now, one notion that veers into the realm of realism is that the peculiar form and bizarre light might be connected to a survivalist or someone living off the grid in the middle of the forest. People who choose to live far apart from society are frequently said to have done so. They may have simply been traveling through the area. The boot prints would indicate more of a human presence than a monster. I suppose the YouTuber might have wandered into a place where people wanted to remain anonymous. Whatever the reason, this is a really good piece of footage that has captured my interest. Recently, some home security footage was given by a family in upstate New York. It's safe to assume that many people are unsure of how to interpret it. A slender humanoid creature is seen scuttling into the picture, and it sort of simply up and goes before we can get a good look at it. Only its arms and legs are visible to us at this time. The arm is especially thin. It appears to have stringy brown hair. I'm not sure if anyone saw this, but Did you notice that it turned its head upside down before getting up and leaving the screen? It's quite brief, so let's try to pause it there. Observe how the head is inverted. It disappears from the screen instantly. Do we believe it was aware that it shouldn't be shown in its entirety on camera? Perhaps a flash or a blinking light detected the camera and refused to expose itself. Or do we simply believe that it happened by chance? Cats have an average reaction time of 0.02 seconds. For a snake, that is 0.04. Although it doesn't seem like much, that is measured in milliseconds, cats are essentially twice as fast. In case you're curious in how we compare, humans have an average reaction time of 250 milliseconds. That's right. We are therefore 12 times slower than the typical cat. I'm not sure all cats are faster than snakes, you think as you sit there. An old structure that has been abandoned for years is seen in the video below, with two friends standing outside. Before they saw something extremely odd, the structure wasn't particularly noteworthy. At first glance, they thought it was just a plastic bag stuck to a building-attached wire. Easy enough. The bag seemed to float and possibly disappear completely as the friends continued to observe. Its disappearance seemed too odd to be a coincidence. The buddies were alarmed by the time. Was it just a coincidence that when they yelled, it moved? Or might this have been more than that? That doesn't exactly explain how the thing appeared to vanish into thin air, even if it were a coincidence. The group thought they might have come across a ghost on the roof of this abandoned building because of this inexplicable occurrence. After making such an odd movement, the enigmatic white entity disappeared entirely. Was there something paranormal about this? The viewers and the group themselves were unable to pinpoint exactly what they saw, and like so many similar videos, there is no clear solution. Once more, there are likely more questions than answers for everyone. But can you assist in resolving this? The following clip is really amazing. We observe that a crow has broken into this osprey nest. In reality, he's attempting to pull these women away. Crows are quite intelligent, as I've mentioned here a few times. However, let's see how this one turns out. When Mom finally returns to the nest, she discovers that someone has visited. As soon as she sees the criminal, you can watch her go completely crazy. The next thing you know, it's turned on. Mama and her children should not be disturbed. Although it was a little clip, I found it to be cool. Watch as her babies fall to the ground and the doe makes a noise. These videos of instinctive survival are amazing. Recently, a couple from the Philippines posted an eye-catching photo from their beach getaway. Jeffrey took the photo of his wife, who seemed to be enjoying the water in a state of ecstasy. On closer examination, though, it appears that the background is missing something. Zooming in on the image reveals a vast forest of trees in the beautiful background. Strangely enough, though, there is a figure above them that seems to be floating in mid-air. Its feet are nowhere to be seen, yet this strange form has long, dark hair. The White Lady is one of the ethereal creatures that are mentioned in Philippine folklore. According to legend, she is mostly sighted in the countryside and is frequently seen wearing a white dress or similar clothing. Usually these tales connect her to a terrible incident or folklore. It's interesting to note that the White Lady tale is told in many different countries across the world. However, the enigmatic figure in this image doesn't appear to be wearing any specific clothing. It's difficult to identify who or what it is with certainty because of the absence of distinguishable traits. However, it does lend a sense of intrigue to the otherwise calm beach photo of the couple. Alright, what is happening here? This appears to be an octopus leaping onto a tree, but it's not a pine squid. What's happening in the forest? Has anyone seen anything like this before? Now, for some reason, I don't know why, I thought this following clip was really cool. Normally, I wouldn't include that in a video. Check it out, though, because I've put it in and taken it out. Take a look at this. I thought the time-lapse was very cool. In order to escape the flooding, 6 car owners have placed their vehicles on this small hill. It's just an ordinary-looking residential complex, really. It appears that this was the worst flood in the Czech Republic's history. Something really unique was recently filmed on a trail camera by the off-roading and jeeping adventure YouTube channel Voyager Overland. They installed a camera next to one of their jeeps to keep an eye on the region overnight while traveling overland to Ruby Falls in the Alberta Rockies. They and many other viewers are utterly perplexed by what they found in the video. A weird, humanoid-looking monster was captured on camera. Its appearance left more questions than answers regarding what might have been hiding in the shadows near their campground. This strange figure can occasionally be seen as translucent in the original video, which has been posted on their YouTube channel. Prior to delving too further, there are a few possible causes for this. Motion blur or, inadequate infrared lighting from the trail camera could be the cause, both combined. None of these, though, provide the whole picture. Having said that, a body, an entity, or a creature must nonetheless be moving around. Furthermore, none of the people who were camping were involved. As someone who conducts Bigfoot research using game cameras, I can tell with confidence that I have never seen anything like this before. A commenter wrote, "I enlarged the photograph by 150% and used a light filter to improve the subject for a better view. Despite these changes, the figure is still odd and challenging too. The figure is especially intriguing because of its translucent nature, which allows it to stand out enough to be photographed while still appearing to blend in with its surroundings. Moments like these, I will add, make us reevaluate what might be truly moving across the secluded and unexplored areas, whether it's a natural phenomena, a technical glitch, or something completely unrelated. There's no denying that it merits more investigation." This video is extremely harmful, but not in the way you may expect. Take a look at this. There is a huge bear in the video, within this man's vehicle. It's all captured on film. The interior has scratches that are just tearing away the leather. There's a catch, though. They created lines with their claws, although they were a bit too precise. I mean, just scratch that stuff up, you know. They must have been quite near to doing that after all. How did they get caught, I wonder? Now that I'm all about efficiency, I thought, go on with your bad self, when I noticed that this small deer was going to blunder in this grocery shop to find something to eat, rather than searching the woods for it. However, it seems that this is not acceptable. Jokes aside, we witnessed this small fawn in Wisconsin stumbling into this grocery store. And to be honest, she's probably terrified. Before customers and employees could sort of force her to the rear of the store, security cameras caught her sprinting through the aisles and through the door. Carts were being used by the customers to assist in blocking. After a while, they managed to get her to go through the back door. This clip made me think a little bit. This deer entering the store may have caused a major disaster, but what if it had been a bear? To be honest, I doubt anyone would try to control that item by using their shopping cart. Indeed, if a bear gets inside, I suppose you should just let it run amok until you can get some experts to come out. Hunger. Feel free to take whatever you want. Have that handled by corporate. A committed Bigfoot researcher walks into his typical exploring grounds in the rugged countryside. The man is carrying a camera in the hopes of obtaining proof of Bigfoot. I'll be damned too. His perseverance seemed to have paid off this time. He records what may be some of the most captivating Sasquatch vocalizations to date in this amazing video.
I don't have time to be scary.
Sounds I've never heard before. Sounds that reverberate through the forest. That's not all, though. You may even be able to see the figure disappearing into the scenery if you look closely, hiding among the leaves in plain sight. I'm not sure if these dark shapes are actually Bigfoot or if they're just the way the light is shining. After years of seeking, if this is indeed Bigfoot, this is a very amazing moment for this man. At Bigfoot, I was thinking if these vocalizations could be a way for several Sasquatch to communicate with one another. If this is the case, Sasquatch may have a more intricate social structure than previously thought, maybe similar to that of primates. Monkeys and chimpanzees. Could territory marking be the purpose of these unsettling calls? Perhaps even planning group activities or alerting others to the researchers' presence? Most likely. I mean, this is made much more intriguing by the potential for these intricate behaviors. Explore the video, dig around, and report back to us if you discover anything. For years, this unsettling image has been making the rounds on the internet, never avoiding controversy. The image, which was first posted on the YouTube channel Journey to the Other Side, has captivated viewers with its eerie features. It looks to have a snout, 2 luminous eyes, 2 ears, a somewhat hunched back and, most unsettling of all, a frightening, almost unnatural smile. It is in some ways blurrier than other cryptid photos. This image has now been connected to 2 possible backstories, both of which date to 2018. According to the initial account, the picture was shot near Indian Wells, Arizona, and the person who took it called the person a dog man. However, we are aware of that. Regretfully, no additional information regarding the sighting has surfaced. A few months later, the second narrative appeared on Tumblr. The image was taken during a harrowing encounter by a Navajo woman in Gallup, New Mexico, according to this article. She experienced the unsettling feeling of being watched and followed late one evening as she was making her way home. She heard a sound and saw a spooky figure standing atop an old home, observing her. She acted swiftly, taking a picture before running for safety to a friend's house nearby. Later on, this friend supports her account. Her family, who are conversant with Navajo mythology, thinks she was being hunted by a skinwalker, a witchcraft-created shape-shifting creature. This woman was so shaken by the encounter that she no longer chooses to travel that trail, and worse, she won't go alone at night. Beyond the anecdotes, many people are now curious about what this might be based on the photograph. Pareidolia is recommended by skeptics. Some even suggest that the picture might be a modified clown mask with ears and a snout, added to give the appearance of something cryptid. Naturally, there are also those who are skeptical and do not believe that the image is natural. Cryptozoology fans have now sided with the believer and linked the figure to dogman sightings, especially those that describe animals with hyena-like traits. Although hyenas are not dogs, the similarity may be consistent with descriptions of dogmen who have a combination of traits. The argument goes on whether it's a brilliant hoax, a technical glitch, or actual proof of a cryptid. Although I am uncertain if this is evidence of something exceptional, I am certain that it merits more investigation.